Welcome to our beginning and end of the bomb talk story series. My name is José Barzola from the Matsunaga Institute for Peace at the University of Hawai'i, Manoa. Our talk story today will focus on passing the baton to the next with Sonomi Nakamura and Yuno Kusaka. Today's event will be live streamed on our community Facebook pages of the Spark and Matsunaga Institute for Peace and Conflict Resolution. Thank you for joining us today to see Hiroshima hidden in a beautiful city. Sonomi Nakamura will take you on a virtual tour of the Peace Memorial Park and share her journey as a peace builder from Hiroshima. This event is co-sponsored by Action for Peace. So I'll start today's event by introducing our guest. Sonomi Nakamura is from Hiroshima, and her grandmother is Hibakusha. She was a representative of the Peace Club for junior high and high school students, sponsored by the Hiroshima Peace Memorial Museum. After entering Waseda University, she established Action for Peace. They held a bomb piano concert and also organized workshops for youth in Hiroshima. This year, she gave lectures with the theme Hiroshima Conveyed by Youth in Hiroshima Peace Forum and the workshop for staff of Mayors for Peace. Now she's planning a Peace Night Hiroshima with high school students and university students, which will be on November 23rd. Juno is from Hiroshima, and her grandmother is also Hibakusha. She is majoring in liberal arts at Akita International University. In her pursuit to learn further about peace studies, she has enrolled and is pursuing an undergrad certificate in peace studies right here at the Matsunaga Institute for Peace at the University of Hawai'i at Manoa. She co-organized events for youth with Sonomi and Hiroshima Peace Memorial Museum and the Nagasaki Foundation for the promotion of peace this summer. And to get us started, I'm going to turn it over to Juno.
Hi everyone, aloha. Thank you for introducing me, Jose. My name is Yuno. In today's webinar, first you're gonna join the virtual tour in Hiroshima Peace Memorial Park. And one thing that I want you to know before watching the video, that it contains a sensitive content which might someone might find offensive or disturbing. In the latter half of the webinar, I will introduce Sonomi Nakamura about her activities as a peace builder. So let's start the tour video.
Aloha! My name is Sonomi Nakamura. Here in Hiroshima, you can feel the best of both. While Hiroshima is full of beautiful water and green, you see the various causes caused by atomic bomb. The theme of today's tour is the survivors of the bombing. Let's start virtual tour of Hiroshima Peace Memorial Park together. The first place is the atomic bomb dome. Can you see it across the river? It was registered as a World Heritage in 1996 as a negative legacy, symbolizing the misery of war. The original building was really beautiful, like a department store. Many people believe that the atomic bomb was exploded just over the atomic bomb dome, but it is estimated that the bomb was exploded above that building you see, which is still very near the dome. It was about 600 meters from the ground. Now, I would like to pose a question here. Why did the dome survive, despite the dreadful blast, while the other building near the dome were totally vanished? Please join the poll. A. Because the dome was so near from hypercenter that the blast ran from the top. B. Unlike the old building around the dome, it has cutting-edge structure at the time, so it didn't survive. C. Other buildings turned into ash because those were made from wood and blocks, but the heat was not hot enough to melt the iron down. D. No reason. It was a miracle.
So if the audience right now could, thank you so much for partaking in today's poll. Just gonna give it a couple more seconds. All right, let's see, majority of our audience says no reason. And then next up was A. Now we're gonna bring it back to the video to find out exactly what was the result.
For the participation, the answer is A. It was because the dome was so close to the hypercenter. The blast flew not horizontally, but vertically. The wave over pressure of 35 tons per square meter and a speed of 440 meters per second ran through the dome, and the wave of the building survived. Other than the atomic bomb dome, there are several buildings near the center of the bombing that survived the hot blast. One of them is the West House. West House used to be a kimono shop before the bombing. The renovation was just finished this summer. With this new beautiful exterior, West House is born again as a new facility. Facing the West shop is on the first floor, and on the second floor is a cafe and the open space. There, Avon piano is displayed. On the third floor, there is an exhibition about the history of the Avon area, including the history of the old kimono shop. Those are the new parts of West House. You will see what remains as it was born. Next year, where our last measure temperature and use the before entering. Let's go. This building is just 170 meters away from the hypercenter. However, one person made a miracle survival. Here is the next question. What do you think saved his life? Please join the poll. A. Because he predicted the bombing and wore the helmet. B. Because he was in the basement by chance. C. Because even though the building crashed on him, he was in the space between the rubbles. D. Because he wore kimono, which protected him from fire.
Thank you again for partaking in the poll. We will be closing it out shortly, just a few more seconds. Seems so the majority of our audience decided it was B. Let's go find out.
Thank you for the participation. The answer is B. When he came down to this basement to get a document, the atomic bomb exploded. And this is the basement. It's preserved and it was damaged. When he crawled through the heap of rubble out from the basement, he saw the hell. He drew a picture of that site later. This bridge is lying the picture he drew. Most parts are repaired, but some parts, such as this carpet, remain as a relic of the bombing. You can also see the river in the picture. This river is now very full. However, lots of dead bodies were floating there, as many people took water and got into the river without knowing. Drinking water was mortal to their land bodies. Here is the next question to the participants. Why did many people die here? Imagine what this place looked like at the time. What do you think this town was like before? Please vote. A. There used to be a place people live. Many houses were here. B. There used to be a big park like how it is now. C. There used to be a place people work. Many companies were here. D. There used to be places where people hung out, such as shopping arcades, hotels, and a movie theater.
Thank you again, everybody. Getting to the couple more seconds. Let everybody partake here. All right, we're going to be closing out the poll and see what our results were from our audience today. Our audience voted mostly for A. Back to the video.
Thank you for the participation. The answer is all but B. This area used to be a flourishing city. As I explained before, West House was a kimono shop, and Avon Dome was a department store. There used to be a lot of shops and houses. Many people lived here at that time. This park, where we walk now, was built on the devastated town by covering with a layer of soil and raising the ground level. Therefore, if you dig this ground, you can still find ruins of people's lives. Actually, Hiroshima City has carried out short-term excavation projects in several spots in the park. The city has been planning to build a new facility to show that it was really a flourishing city. How terribly the bombing destroyed the city and people's lives. There will be displays such as the remains of crushed and burnt houses and roads found under the ground, and old photos of this town and people. A project was carried out here last year and this summer, and open to the public for a limited time. I'm sorry that I can't show you the real things under the soil today, but please look at the pictures of what they found here. These are carbonized tatami mats and boards. This is a part of the earthen floor before the entrance. These stones are the borders between the neighbors. This was Tenjinmachi Road. These are pieces of grasses. The hot blast broke the grasses into pieces and penetrated the walls and furniture and also human bodies. The ruins tell or remind us that this place was not a park, when the bomb was dropped, but used to be a place where many people from the elderly to little kids lived here, worked together, studied, and hung out with friends. Please think about this, how it was like when the bomb was dropped in the middle of the lovely town. Hiroshima was demolished. Many people were hurt. Many people were injured and died. In the deep hopeless grief, won't we encourage people to live? This is a tree named Aogi. It was 1.3 kilometers away from the center of the bombing. So, as you can see, it's terribly burned and gassed out by the hot blast. Nevertheless, it overcame the adversity, and in the next spring, with fought back. Its revival became an anchor for the victims to get over the trauma and to have the battle of life. In 1973, it transplanted here in this park as a symbol of the resiliency of Hiroshima. Since then, several peace projects have occurred from this album. For example, people made several songs and movies based on the story of this tree. And the seeds of the algae have been distributed not only across Japan, but also to the world. Algae has been telling the importance. In front of algae, there is this memorial museum. This is the museum. It has a cafe named Aogiri in it. Usually, they have many visitors from various countries and also many school trips. Unfortunately, I don't have time to introduce the inside of the museum today, but if you visit the museum, you will enter from that door. The survivors made many monuments for people who passed away due to the bombing both inside and outside the park. One of the most famous monuments in the Peace Memorial Park is the cenotaph for the atomic bomb victims. Let's get closer to it. Its shape was like a heart of animal clay in it. It symbolizes survivor's wish that they want to protect the victims from rain. In the stone box under the roof, the name lists of victims were stored. Every year, the names have been added to the list, and for now, the number reaches 390,000 186 in total. Adding to the name list, there is a blank book for those who passed away without being recognized or identified their names in the pages. Another famous monument I introduced today is the Children Peace Monument. The bombing killed many young people and little kids as well. There are several monuments erected especially for them, and the Children Peace Monument is one of them. The model of the statue on the top of the monument is Sadako Sasaki. She was 2 years old when the bomb was dropped. Fortunately, she did not get injured at all at that time and grew into a healthy girl. However, when she was 12, the leukemia developed suddenly. Many cases have been reported that the radiation of the atomic bombing failed and undermined their bodies for several decades and developed into serious diseases, including cancers. Sadako was not an exception. After she entered the hospital, she kept folding tons of origami cranes, believing that a wish came true. When she folded 1,000 origami, however, her wish to go back to normal life had never been realized. She passed away 8 months after the diagnosis. After the divorce, her parents found her recording of the blood test under the bed. Even though they did not tell her that she had leukemia, she seemed to notice by herself that she had a problem with her blood. How do you think her parents felt when they found it out? Her friends from school were also so sad when they heard her death, and they regretted things like, we should have visited her more often, or we did not do anything for her. And they came up with the idea of building a monument for kids who died because of the bombing like her. They started to call for cooperation in their schools at first. Then the project was gradually spread beyond the school and beyond Japan. And finally, 2.5 years from the start, this monument was built. Since then, a lot of people who wished for peace all over the world have sent many thousands of origami cranes here to Hiroshima. This is the end of the tour. Thank you for joining us. I hope you enjoyed it and also hope that you can visit and see the real legacies here someday. Mahalo!
So welcome back. Thank you for joining the tour. I'm sorry the video was a little bit rough, but I hope you enjoyed it. Those buildings and trees keep telling us the tragedy, and Peace Park is changing not to forget it and to remind us that many people let their life there. There are still many things to learn about the bombing and the town. Next, I will interview Sonomi Nakamura about her peace builder journey. So,皆さん、ツアーを楽しんでいただけたでしょうか。少し多分ビデオが見にくかったところもあると思うんですけど、楽しんでいただけてたら幸いです。私はとても、そのビデオから、建物や木が、その悲惨な歴史を伝えてくれていると同時に、その悲惨な歴史を忘れないために、平和公園も変わり続けていくんだと思います。 次は、中村さんに、彼女の平和活動についてのインタビューをしていきたいと思います。Hi, Sonomi.
Hi, Yuno and everyone. Thank you for watching again. How do you find it? I learned a lot about the damages by the bombing by myself and also heard many stories from victims. In the latter half of this webinar, I will talk about my journey as a peace builder.
So first, I would like to ask you, how do you start your journey? You were born and grew up in Hiroshima, right? And I think your grandmother is the victim of the bombing of Hibakusha. And are these ground backgrounds related to why you became interested in peace? So まず最初に彼女がなぜ平和活動を始めたかについて、伺いたいと思います。彼女は、広島で生まれて育って、また、おばあ様も被爆者でおられると思うのですが、そういうことは、平和活動を始めるにあたって何か関係がありましたか？
Yes, I was born and raised in Hiroshima. In Hiroshima City, from elementary school, students have classes about the atomic bombing of Hiroshima and about peace. For example, I went to the Peace Memorial Museum in the class on the date of the bombing, which is August 6th. Although it's during summer vacation, students go to school to pray for the victims and to learn about the atomic bombing. I had many opportunities to learn about the bombing in elementary school. However, I did not know about peace deeply at the time. Or I think I just escaped from thinking about it because I felt much fear on that topic.
Yeah, I understand how you felt about the history of the bombing because I did too. And I think some of today's audience might also have the same feelings toward the bombing. So how did you accept your feelings and go to the next step? So, 私も同じように原爆について怖いという思いがあったので、とても、中村さんの気持ちは分かりますし、もしかしたら今日の、参加してくださっている皆さんの中にも同じように感じておられる方はいると思うんですけど、その自分の怖いという思いをどうやって乗り越えて、また、あなた、中村さんが平和活動をしようと思って、始めようと思ったきっかけにつながったのかということを教えてください。
As soon as I entered my junior high school, my thoughts on peace turned 180 degrees around. My best friend asked me to join a group together where junior high and high school students learn and tell people about the bombing. It was the Peace Club, which Hiroshima City organized. I did not want to learn about the bombing because I thought it's scary, but the friend sent the application without saying anything to me, and I joined the Peace Club with her.
Well, that's interesting. Without her, you might you might be a different person now. So joining the club was your starting point of your journey, peace builder journey. So can you tell me about what did you do in that club? それはじゃあ彼女がもしそう強引にあなたをそうピースクラブに誘ったり入れなかったりしたら、今平和活動してなかったかもしれないということはとても面白いことだと思います。では、そのピースクラブでどのような活動をしたか教えてください。
I participated in many events throughout the year in the club. I learned deeply about many monuments in the Peace Park. I went to Nagasaki, which also experienced an atomic bombing in World War II. Through those experiences, I learned real horror of the bombing, which is never expressed in the numbers of people who passed away. I realized that each of the victims had their own life and future just like us. And the only one bombing suddenly and completely robbed them all. The gap between the vague scaring image about muscular bombing that I had before and the true stories of every single person was very shocking for me.
So you're saying that you learned real stories of each victim through the activities of Peace Club. But I think people learn the histories or listen to the testimonies of the victims, but it is sometimes difficult to take action for peace by themselves because it's too broad a topic, or maybe they're not confident enough to tell what they've learned or heard. So what encouraged you to take action for peace? So中村さんはそのピースクラブの活動を通して、その一人一人の被爆者の方の生活だったり、話を知ったということですね。で、でも、その歴史を学んだり、一人一人のお話を聞くということは、多くの人にチャンスがあることだと思うんですけど、学んだことを次、自分の平和活動に移す、自分でこう平和活動をしていくということに対して、ことが難しい方もおられると思うんですけど、その点は中村さんはいかがでしたでしょうか
？The Peace Club gave me not only the opportunities to learn, but also the opportunity to tell others what I learned. And here, I'm going to introduce some events that I will held. First, this is Heiwa no Tsudoi, which means the gathering of peace. It's a workshop with students from elementary school students to high school students who visit Hiroshima from different prefectures. We shared what we have learned with people around the same age. Next is a poster presentation. On 6th of August, we had a poster presentation about Sadako Sasaki's wife, which I talked about on the tour. The audience was from various countries.
Well, you experienced a lot in the club, I think. So I actually participated in a A-bombed piano concert, which the Peace Club organized when I was in junior high school and high school. And that was a great experience for me and made me think about peace deeply. So 中村さんはそのクラブの中でたくさん経験されたのを見れてとても楽しいです。私は実は、彼女が、ピースクラブにいた時の、被爆ピアノコンサートに参加していたんですけど、それはとてもいい経験でしたし、私はそれに参加したことで、平和について考える機会をいただけたので、とても良かったです。
Thank you, Yuno. I'm happy to hear that. I conveyed the stories of the bombing in various events. After the event, many people told me that the young people like you have made many efforts to tell the stories, and that encourages me to tell what I heard today to my family and friends. I believe if you tell what you want, you can give a chance to them to tell the stories to the next. And as a result, many people all over the world know about the bombing and think about peace. These experiences of output made my core of organizing events, which is giving a chance to start to think about peace. And also the experience gave me confidence as a storyteller. Now the average age of the victims is over 83. The time when we cannot hear the stories directly from them is coming. Thinking about what I can do for the future as a person who learns about Hiroshima, I had been a member of the club for 6 years until I graduated from high school.
This experience and the Peace Club made the core of your peace project, I guess. So how did the journey go after the graduation? So その中村さんがした経験は、今の平和活動の基礎になっているところがある と私は思います。では、高校卒業した後、どのような活動をされていたか教えてください。
I went to a university in Tokyo after graduation. I felt my duty to tell the stories, but I did not know what to do. After a while, in the first summer in university, I took part in Mayors for Peace, held in Nagasaki with a friend who joined the Peace Club together back in high school. I presented what I learned and my thoughts on peace, and also got inspiration from other peace builders. We met a group who translate testimony into English. Many visitors encouraged us and gave us supporting messages. He is the mayor of Hiroshima City.
ムンさん、多分あれ変わってない。I think your presentation is not changing the photo.
嘘。
ち
ょっと待ってね。
Sorry, wait a little bit.
変わった？大丈夫かな？あ、
Yeah.
He's the
Can you all see the photos of the photo that the mayor of the Hiroshima and also Nakamura in it? I think everyone can see it. 大丈夫だ。
He is the mayor of Hiroshima City. Message from other peace builders.
あ、変わってない。
嘘。変わった？あ、これが。This is the messages from other peace builders. The participation motivated us, and we decided to hold the A-bomb piano concert. Actually, as Yuno mentioned before, when I was in the Peace Corps, we held the A-bomb piano concerts. The piano I met when I was in second grade in junior high school belonged to a woman who passed away when she was 19 because of the bombing. I played the piano and also joined the chorus club, so I was shocked by her story relating to music. Therefore, I decided to hold a concert using the same piano, hoping that the sounds made by her piano tell a message that the young people lost their daily lives due to the bombing. And also, I believe that music has a potential to make an opportunity to think about peace for those who are not interested in peace, but music. In order to have more people to know about our activities, we used crowdfunding to collect money for the concert. I was very nervous about whether we could collect enough money or not. Eventually, many people whom we met in the Peace Club and the Mayors for Peace supported us and achieved the monetary goal. We asked the students from Hiroshima to play the piano in the concert because it would be a good opportunity for them to tell the messages through their music. These are the photos from the concert. I held the concert twice.
It is really great that you keep holding a concert by yourself with friends after high school. It is also wonderful that you just not organize the event with the member of Action for Peace, but also you're giving students opportunity to create event together, which means to take action for peace. Did you do any other events than the concert? 高校卒業した後も、そのピース、被爆ピアノコンサートを続けているというのはとても素晴らしいことだと思いますし、アクションフォーピースのメンバーだけではなくて、他の学生と一緒に作ることで、彼らに、一緒に平和活動をするきっかけを与えているのはとてもいいことだと思います。コンサート以外に何か、プロジェクトはしていますか？
Other than the concert, we organized the one-day workshop for students who are not from Hiroshima. It includes the field trip to the museum, the storytelling of the bombing, and discussion on how to tell what the participants learned on that day to the next generation.
Oh, it sounds interesting. Do you have anything that you keep in mind when you do your projects? とてもそのプロジェクトも面白そうだと思いました。中村さんがプロジェクトをしていく中で何か気をつけていることはありますか？
What I always keep in mind in organizing events about the bombing is to make the participants experience more than fear. This is because it was a fear that prevented me from learning about the bombing. To avoid the same things from happening to others, I try to make more welcoming introduction with relatable topics such as music. On the other hand, it is true what happened in Hiroshima is horrifying. I sometimes wonder if my style, which seems to lack seriousness, is right or not. However, I keep conducting my projects, hoping more people know about the terrifying history and think about peace through my activities.
So thank you for sharing your story today. At last, is there anything that you want to say to the audience? すみません。今日はお話しくださってありがとうございます。他に何か、参加者の皆さんに伝えたいことはありますか？
At last, I would like to introduce my latest project in September. I made a video of the A-bomb piano for people who cannot visit Hiroshima. As an ending of this webinar, I would like to share this video with you. I hope you can feel my wishes for peace through the video.
「平和記念公園の一角、レストハウス2階にあるこのピアノ。ただのピアノではありません。実は1945年8月6日、ここ広島の町に落とされた原子爆弾により傷ついたピアノ、被爆ピアノなんです。このピアノの持ち主だったのは川本明子さん。ピアノと勉強が大好きな少女だったそうです。しかし、1945年8月6日午前8時15分、広島の町に一発の爆弾、原子爆弾が落とされました。強烈な爆風、熱線、放射線により広島の町は破壊され、多くの人々が傷つき、命を落としました。 そして明子さんも動員学と作業中に被爆。翌日、大量に放射線を浴びたことによる急性放射能障害により亡くなりました。19歳でした。生前、明子さんが愛用していたピアノも爆風により多くのガラス片を浴び、傷つきました。しかし、原爆投下から60年が経った2005年、調律師堺原博さんの懸命な修復作業により、明子さんのピアノの音色はよみがえりました。それからさまざまなピアニストが演奏してきており、その音色を通じ、世界に原爆の恐ろしさや平和の尊さを訴え続けています。明子さんのピアノをご遺族から受け継がれ管理されてきた田口富江さんにお話を伺うことができました。明子さん、どのような少女だったんですか？
よく聞かれるんですけど、私は1949年生まれ、明子さんは1926年生まれ。だからね、お会いしたことはないんです。で、明子さんの姿っていうか、明子さん像っていうか、もう明子さんが残してくださった人気、それからお父様の人気、それを通してしか私はイメージすることができません。で、明子さんって本当に理髪がとても賢いお嬢さんだった。成績のことがよくね、記にも書かれてるんですけれど、17歳の時に、いい点を取れればいいけれど、私ったら本当に点取り虫だっていうようなことを書いてある。だからとても成績に関しても気になってたお嬢さんだったなと思います。
どのような思いで明子さんのピアノを受け継がれたんでしょうか？
とても難しい質問ですね。どういうような思い出っていうよりも、私は最初からその平和活動に使おうとか、このピアノが被爆してるから世界に広めて、もっとこう平和のために何かをしようとか、そういう強い使命感を持って最初からやってるわけじゃなくて、明子さんのご両親にご近所でとても可愛がってもらってた。そこにたまたまピアノがあって、そのピアノが後から分かったけれど、被爆したピアノで、そのピアノをまた愛想してた、よく弾かれてたお嬢さんがおられて、そのお嬢さんも被爆されて離れたということをストーリーを本当に後から知って、そしてこのピアノが何とか、音を奏でることができないかなっていう、それぐらいの思いで始めたことです。ですからそれが今そのように本当に世界に向けてご紹介していただけるようになったのは、もう私自身驚いています。
ありがとうございます。最後の質問なんですけど、明子さんのピアノを見た人、音を聞かれた人、何を感じてほしいですか？
そうですね。だから私自身がその大きな目標とか使命感を持って平和活動のためにってやってるわけでもないし、このピアノの音色って本当に優しい音色なんですね。だからそれぞれ聞かれた立場の人たちがそれぞれの思いを持ってくださればいいかな。つまり先日も子どもたちが聞いてくれて、被爆してるけどこんなに綺麗な音が出るんだねっていう思いを持ってくださればそれはそれでいいし、こういうピアノの音色が聴けるっていうのは平和だからだなって考えてくださるお子さんもいたけれど、それはそれでいいし、また明子さんをご自分たちの手でご両親にダビに付したっていう話をしたときに、自分自身の子供をダビに付すってどんな気持ちだったんだろう、どんな辛い思いだったんだろう、でまた原爆で亡くなるっていうことは当時の人たちは全く分かってないわけですね。どうしてこんなことが起こったのかもわからないまま、自分の子供たち、本当に慈しんで育てた子供たちの命が奪われた、その悲しみを我が身のこととして受け止めてくれる親御さんたちもいてると思うし、 それぞれの立場でこの年齢を通して受け止めて、そしてさらに若い人たちにはいろんな形で平和へつないでいってほしいなと思います。ありがとうございました。
広島を訪れることができないすべての人に、あきこさんのピアノの音色に乗せて原爆の恐ろしさ、平和の大切さを伝えたい。そんな思いから広島で合唱をなさっている皆さんのご協力をいただき、リモート合唱をすることとなりました。広島から全国に私たちの思いが届くことを願って、合唱、花は咲く。
Well, I just want to thank you all so much. Arigato gozaimasu to Sonomi and Juno for sharing your experience as youth peace builders. It was wonderful to get a tour of the beautiful city of Hiroshima, as well as the opportunity to experience the A-bomb piano. Arigato gozaimasu just for your energy to educate those in your communities further about the need for a future full of peace. Also, thank you to our partners who helped us today live streaming, KTOH Honolulu, the 100 Infantry Battalion, Club 100, and the Matsunaga Institute. Also, thank you to all you for joining us today's event. We deeply appreciate your interest in supporting joining us to learn further about the resiliency during the present times and through our beginning and end of the bomb talk story series.